If you're a Ginny and Georgia fan, then you're going to like this video. Season 2 is on its way, and we have the details for you. Did Ginny and Austin really run away? Could Season 2 bring Ginny and Georgia back together? We are covering these, so stay tuned. So what's been happening with Ginny and Georgia? It seems that the Netflix comedy series is making its way for Season 2. But before you get your hopes up, know that due to the production halt, it's not going to be soon. It's going to be in late 2021. Ever since the finale, which ended on a cliffhanger, everybody's been wanting to know what's next for the steel-willed Jenny Miller and her secret-filled mother Georgia. But for those who don't know what we're talking about, Ginny and Georgia could be the modern-day excuse for a Gilmore Girls TV show, a touching dynamic of a mother and daughter, with the drama being made for easy viewing and life lessons that are palatable. Instead, showrunner Deborah J. Fisher and creator Sarah Lampert have worked to stuff and propagate the show with a variety of different subplots and themes, making it stuffed. Episode after episode shows the whiplash dynamic. The title characters are constantly seen rotating the love interests with all new schemes of deception, new friendships, random mayoral elections, and yes, even some criminal offenses. That is to presume Ginny and Georgia is half thriller, half coming-of-age story, sprinkled with little shots of laughter in between moments that are rather solemn. It's like a melting pot of all things combined, so it's something that caters to everybody's taste. The series begins with the titular characters in a situation that is shady. After a series of unfortunate events that had the family grinding their way away for nearly 10 years, Georgia Miller, Brienne Howie, a cunning and shrewd 30-year-old single parent, decides to settle down in the area of New England with her nearly estranged 15-year-old daughter Jenny, Antonia Gentry, and little one, Austin, who's roughly 10 years old, Diesel La Taraka. The first season's 10 episodes navigate either way through the kinks and cracks in Jenny's relationship with her mother, who's quite secretive, and her first experiences with friendships and romance, all the while tackling the social issues of race, class, and gender identity, things that teens especially have a trouble getting right, especially dealing with them in real time. But for the fans who are curious and excited, the question is the second season even renewed for the public? The answer is a giddy and loud yes. It was announced on Netflix Live that the show would be making a return for its second season. On April 19th, Netflix confirmed Ginny and Georgia was renewed for a second season. Creator Deborah J. Fisher was very excited and thankful for the support for its comeback and said that they can't wait to be back. In terms of the sheer popularity of the show, who could argue that Ginny and Georgia was fated to be renewed for a second time? 52 million households don't just binge watch a show like that. Even though the show has garnered an audience, it has also gathered a mixed response. This comes in tow of Taylor Swift taking to social media to point out the show's sexist joke about her. But there have been worse things that have happened to Taylor Swift, so moving on. During the MTV Awards of 2021 in May, Gentry teased the press about what's to come in the renewed season, saying it's a roller coaster ride. Even though she doesn't clearly know where it's going, she does know it's going to be full of excitement and craziness, said the show's creator. But tentatively, it seems like we'll get the second season somewhere around the late winter of 2021, near February, especially if you keep in mind the COVID restrictions, which are the main problem right now. The first season took around 4 months to be shot, so if the production team hustles and manages time, we could potentially expect to see it in about a year, maybe in late 2022. But one of the glaring questions is, what will the second season of Ginny and Georgia entail? The first season had to end with a long list of cliffhangers and questions that had us guessing. Did Ginny and Austin actually run away? What's up with Jenny and Marcus? And will Georgia and the hot mayor actually be tying the knot? We want all those answers. Thankfully, we do have an answer. In an interview with TV Line, Gentry cleared up the confusion about Jenny's fate. Gentry explained that when she's packing her bag, she grabs the book that Zion had given her, and if you were paying a little attention to detail, you'd have noticed that when Zion arrives and gives her the book, there was also an address that was given to her. He'd encoded a secret message in it, and she later finds out that it was the address to his home in Boston. She said it might be pretty natural and reasonable to think that she's on her way to Zion. The finale also set up the return of Austin's father, who's expected to be seen in season 2. The finale was, truthfully, kind of cluttered, and so you might have missed out on a bunch of details. But then we never actually find out what Austin is up to when he's bunking school, and our brain leads us to thinking that he's out there looking for his father. There's also the fact that Jenny posted all of Austin's letters to his father, which was really unsettling for Georgia. However, we didn't get to see the exchange in depth because the finale had other story arcs to cover as well. Scott Porter, who plays hotshot Mayor Paul, has hinted that there's more to his character than just an uptight and squared approach. He revealed to Hollywood Life, "As far as Mayor Paul goes, I have had questions since day one about where he came from because of the things that he says in the show," said the actor, who's fascinated by the origins of his character. "And it's only natural. He checks all the points. He went to Brown, is an Ivy League college graduate, and with all of that, he just abandons it to go traveling abroad, backpacking around the world to teach English, getting to live a life and a dynamic that is very grossly out of the sphere of a political career. But as he gets back home, he suddenly has that all lined up for him." The actor remarked that it's very interesting for him to see and explore why he is the way he is and how he got here, hoping that Season 2 takes the said route. There are also fascinating subplots, and one of the best parts about Ginny and Georgia, that's its ability to confidently address subjects like race, identity, sexuality, and ability of all backgrounds. Ginny herself's multiracial in a town that's dominated by white people, and so her frustration and inability to fit in only makes sense. And her lesbian best friend Maxine, Sarah Weissglass, is shown having a hard time dating early on in the series as someone who's openly lesbian. Meanwhile, Rebecca Oblak, talking to Brown Girl magazine, said, "The show does a really great job at writing these young characters that are trying to figure out race and sexuality. I resonate with the discussions between these characters that I had at that age. It's impossible not to resonate with these characters because I'm a woman of color living in a world that is built for whiteness, and so it appeals to an audience that had never felt represented before." The cast has also spoken up and opened up about the show's inclusion and depiction of ASL. Weissglass, who plays very intelligent and rather mature teenager Maxine, revealed that she actually went to learn the language, saying that having to get to include and learn ASL was a very wonderful experience on a personal note, and getting to learn a whole new language was rather enlightening. This proactive effort to include the marginalized communities is something that's very heartwarming. But to come back to the main question, could Season 2 bring Ginny and Georgia back together? The answer seems to be a roaring and collective yes. The showrunners seem very pertinent on that, saying that, "Of course they can. I need them to, yes," said Howie. This was only cemented by Gentry, who said that this is actually the focal point of the show, the most interesting dynamic. A few weeks later, Gentry spoke about the character development of her up-and-coming protagonist, saying that she wants to see Ginny get down and dirty, to go through the same rocky roads her mother has gone through, wanting to see her emulate the traits of Georgia, getting to explore the inherent mean streak that she has. In interviews in August, Gentry stated that the one main thing changing drastically in Season 2 is her character's getup and overall style, almost like a 180. With the new Ginny being in tow, things are going to get fascinating. She said that her character has a new sense of confidence, so she's transitioned into someone who's not afraid of sticking out like a sore thumb, come as it may. And that, along with the other dynamics, will be very fun to explore and see. That's all for today, folks. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye!